Hi, I'm Mark Clegg for the Photographer Academy and welcome to the Flash Facts series. This is where I've broken down the kind of the secrets or the problems or the techniques of flash photography, whether you're a speedlight photographer or you're just getting started with your off-camera flash, or you're kind of more advanced, or you're looking to get into studio flash photography. I'm trying to kind of unravel the kind of the techniques for you so you can understand fully what the different settings are, how to best kind of get going. Plus, we're going to look at pros and cons of each different section, as well as some tips and things really. So the Flash series, you can obviously watch lots of video content on the Academy website itself, but the Flash Facts series is breaking down each section at a time for you. Hope you enjoy it. So in this Flash Facts session, we're concentrating on a Gobo. And technically a Gobo is something that we put after the flash that is going to kind of create a pattern. But to get the best kind of effects, we need to use the likes of a magnifying tool, which is often based on two lenses. And those two lenses then will actually help focus the actual pattern, which we kind of slot in behind and things. So Gobo, if we want it sharp, has to be kind of focused, and that's what the two lenses do. And there's some professional levels, whether you're working in a likes of a studio flash photography or using speedlight photography, there's kind of loads of options out there, but you can do it if you pick up a few in larger lenses of old, as it were. And that kind of dome glass, when you kind of use that and you move them away from each other and closer, you'll find that you'll be able to actually sharpen your Gobo. Depends on the size of it and things really. But not only can we use the likes of the Gobo, the patterns, to actually give us these effects and everything else, but we can kind of create our own manual kind of element. The key thing to remember is that whatever we put in front of the flash is going to create some kind of shadow onto the background. The closer the item is to the front of the flash, usually the more kind of out of focus the pattern is going to be. And as we move the kind of the leaf or the pattern away from the flash, if it's just a normal speedlight flash, let's say, you're going to get more of a kind of a defined kind of pattern. But to get that focus pattern like we're seeing here, we definitely need to actually work with a focusable optic. When we kind of want to work in a manual way, this is kind of just one that I've created out of a piece of cardboard. The first thing would be is to control the flash down a little bit, whether it's the likes of a snoot or the likes of light coming out of the end of a honeycomb. And then, as you can see here, what we've got is basically the snooted light on the left hand side. It's then going through a piece of card with holes cut in it, and that projection is then going onto the background. Now this image is just taken with my iPhone, so it looks kind of bright, but more often than not we're not looking to actually have a very, very bright distracting kind of Gobo effect on the background unless it is a purpose shape and things. We'll usually want it to be a part of the lighting setup, and I'll always encourage you where possible to do one light to do one job. When you're using a Gobo like we saw at that first image, you could technically stand your subject in front of the Gobo light, and because they're closer to the pattern, the light will be more out of focus on them. When it gets to the focus area, if you focused it, in other words, on the background, a subject stood in front of that pattern will not have the sharp pattern on them unless they are very, very close to the background itself. So one light to do one job. In this case, I've got a gridded spotlight, snooted light, I should say, with a reflector dish here, with a grid on the front going onto the dancer. Then I've got a separation light, again with a honeycomb kind of grid to control the light spillage so it doesn't kind of go onto the background and so on. And then we've got this handmade Gobo, a piece of card just cut with circles in there. And what that then does for us, it creates the kind of the overall effect. So the key light is to light the subject, the separation light is to separate the hair and the body and define the kind of the muscle tone, and the Gobo pattern is from the snoot kind of going through onto the background as such. But you can see when we kind of show you the finished image how that kind of all works together and so on with it. But As far as the Gobo light is concerned, it can be used really to great effect when you're using flash photography, especially when you're getting fed up of plain flat backgrounds or plain flat light onto your the subject, whether it's a person or a product. We can actually use something in front of the flash to kind of create an interesting pattern. And if you're using a speedlight flash, practice with some ideas about using the zoom as well, because that will kind of give you a kind of a snooted effect and so on. But really what a Gobo is a pattern product, as it were, whether it's handmade or commercial made, and then it's being used in front of the flash. And if we want to focus flash, we have to use some kind of lenses to basically sharpen the effect itself. So if you'd like to know more about the Photographer Academy, head over to thephotographeracademy.com and go over to the lighting section here, and you can see that there's lots of different topics and content for you to go ahead and actually watch immediately. As a member, you'll be able to actually click in and then watch and download the films. To join, just click onto the Join Academy on the website kind of links, and it'll just bring it over to here. And as you can see, you can join for as little as £33 for 3 months. But in addition, of course, it's not just our film content. There's also lots of other assets to download, including brushes for Photoshop, smart objects for Photoshop, 100 backgrounds for you to use, as well as actions. Plus, we've got some great visual posing guide apps for you to download and put onto your smart device.